Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to make a little bit of a different video centered around the filming setup that I use to shoot my videos. I've been having a lot of people message through all social media platforms asking about the camera setup that I use to film skiing. I've just recently made the switch from Insta360 back to a GoPro Hero 13. I wanted to touch on exactly why I did that, what I was going to sacrifice by switching from a 360 cam back to a standard action camera, but also as well give people an idea of the setup that I'm currently using, where I've got the camera mounted and how I'm recording audio on the GoPro to give people a bit of an idea if they want to start their own channel or film their own clips. So it's a very specific use case and outcome that I was trying to achieve in doing so. I wanted to put some example footage of the Insta360 X3 and the GoPro Hero 13 mounted as a POV camera so that you could look at the differences, but also talk about the main reasons as far as workflow goes that I decided to switch from Insta360 back to a GoPro. So let's get into it. The biggest laborious process for me is editing the footage. I have nothing bad to say about the Insta360. I still have the Insta360 X3. I keep it in my bag at all times, and it's now sort of like a backup camera or used for very specific things that only a 360 camera can do. I haven't really used it that much this season just yet. But the editing process with Insta360 was becoming a little bit laborious. I work on a laptop when I'm over here in Japan, and rendering time is the biggest slowdown for me. So switching back to a GoPro, the main goal was to speed up the amount of rendering, but also as well reduce the amount of footage or files that I have to store, because I've only got a 500 gigabyte laptop, a 1 terabyte SSD, and I've got 1 terabyte in OneDrive that I use. So with the editing of the Insta360 footage, so obviously the camera captures a 360 footage file. It's two files, one from the front camera, one from the back. And you use the Insta360 software to basically reframe the footage into either 9:16 for social media or into 16:9 for YouTube and Landscape formats. Now, their software is brilliant. I really love it. You can do it on your phone or your laptop. The issue for me is, one, having to actually reframe the footage. They've got a setting called direction lock, which is meant to sort of follow, you choose the angle and it's meant to follow that kind of angle and stick there. It doesn't work the best, it's quite slow. So oftentimes I'll turn my head and it'll take a second to track that. So using that feature it didn't produce the results that I wanted. So in the 360 software, I would actually edit my ski footage and I would go through the video and scrub through and keyframe every single point throughout the video exactly where I wanted the camera to track. That's not too difficult. It is time consuming, but the main thing after that is, now that you've got your framing how you want, you then have to export that video. Obviously on a laptop, it's not the most advanced laptop in the world. It's just a standard, I think it's a Dell HPS 16. Amazing laptop for my work and stuff, but it slugs at rendering. So to make a YouTube video or an Instagram video, I have to export that and render it and then save that file. So obviously the rendering time, it takes time. And now at this point, I've now got the 360 footage and then I've got the rendered footage as well. So I've now got two files from the same video. So that obviously takes up space. To make a YouTube video then, I have to drop the exported file into Adobe Premiere, edit all of that into what I want to turn into a YouTube video, and then render that. So there's two stages of rendering, but then there's also framing the 360 footage. So that's sort of a laborious process. It takes time, and the one thing I don't have while I'm working here, skiing and editing videos, is time. So switching to the GoPro, my main goal was to reduce the amount of rendering time. At the moment, I have the GoPro Hero 13. It's got the standard lens on it at the moment. I run it with the ultra wide lens mod for skiing. You get a lot higher POV, and I shoot my skiing all in the ultra hyper view. It basically takes a 1:1 frame and it actually squishes that down into a 16:9 frame. The benefit of that for me is I can drop that straight into Adobe Premiere and just start editing the video. It's already in 16:9 format. I just drop it straight in. I don't have to choose my framing. obviously I have to pay a lot more attention to where the camera is mounted at. Obviously if I have it mounted too high or too low, it's just going to shoot the sky or just my feet. So there is more thought that I've had to put into where I've mounted the camera. The Insta360, where that really excels, it doesn't matter what it's pointed at, it will capture everything and you choose afterwards. But for what I'm doing, making YouTube videos, that is where my priority is this season. The GoPro just makes it so much easier because it's just a 16:9 file that I drop straight into Adobe Premiere, I edit into a video, and then I render it out. I'm also only storing one file for that. So that's the main benefit for me with shooting on a GoPro. What I have sacrificed by going to the GoPro though is my Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories, or TikTok content. The benefit of the Insta360 is that you can, it shoots 360 video and you can choose the framing afterwards. You can zoom out as much as you want, you can zoom in as much as you want. So it makes perfect 16:9 videos because you can choose the framing exactly how you want. And then you can take that exact same footage and reframe it for vertical video for social media, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. So that's one thing that I'm sacrificing with going back to a GoPro. But as I said, my priority is on the long format YouTube videos. That's what I enjoy editing, and I'm happy to sacrifice a little bit of vertical video by shooting with a GoPro. Oh, I swallowed some snow. The second thing is I watch a lot of YouTubers who have skiing channels. I don't know if it's just me, this is definitely like a personal preference kind of thing, but every time I watch a YouTuber, I can tell when the video is shot on a GoPro. And because I do mainly POV mounting, I just personally think that the GoPro just is built for that. It looks, POV footage from a GoPro just, in my opinion, looks better. I think they've specifically designed the camera for that, whereas Insta360 is more so, it covers a more broad spectrum. You can use it on the selfie stick, you can use it POV mount, you can do whatever you want with it, but I think GoPro just looks very, very specific, and that's the kind of style of footage that I wanted. I'll drop some clips in here. So this is some footage of me skiing with the Insta360 on my helmet, mounted quite far forward out in front of me. And this is sort of what it looks like. So here's a few clips here.
sorry, bro.
Oh, good.
And then this is some footage from this season with the GoPro mounted a little bit further forward on my helmet on the front. The Insta360 was actually mounted up here and it looked like a unicorn dick, but it captures roughly the same kind of image in 16:9. So this is the GoPro footage. You can look all you want, scrub between these two sections. You should be able to see a difference, maybe if you've got a keen eye, maybe not. They both come out really, really good.
You! You! Woo! How good's the view, Mount Yote? Big volcano, pimple looking thing. Mini Mount Fuji. Oh, straight off the groomer.
So I watch a lot of Lucas Catania, Steep, Rise and Alpine, Ryan Purvis. I'm sure a lot of you guys all watch the same people, right? And to me, it's evident that without even them telling me, Steep and Rise and Alpine shoot on Insta360s. Lucas Catania, I know, uses a GoPro Max, and then Ryan Purvis shoots, I'm pretty sure, on a Hero 12. It's not that I don't like Steep and Rise and Alpine's footage. I just personally think that Lucas Catania's and Ryan Purvis's footage looks slightly better. It looks like GoPro footage, which is what I want. So nothing against the Insta360. It's a great camera. It's just GoPro has a very specific look that I like. So now we'll take a look at the mounting setup that I have for the GoPros. First of all, when I'm shooting vloggy style content, I just have the GoPro shorty pole and the media mod with the standard lens. Pretty straightforward kind of setup. I was looking at getting a DJI mic or a Rode Wireless 2, but honestly, for what I'm doing, which is a lot of, I keep this in my pocket at all times, it fits in my ski jacket. I just do a lot of point and shoot stuff. I'll be out and about and see something that I like or I want to talk about something. I just whip this thing out and it does a decent job. So with the standard lens, it's not too stretched out or warped, and that does all of my vlogging kind of stuff where I'm standing out the front saying hello for the morning or at the end of the day. Now, when it comes to the skiing side of things, this is my helmet here. That is where I have my mount set up, right on the front. This helmet is kind of a bit weird. I can only put it on the front here or at the very top. And I know that if I put it at the very top, it's gonna get my visor and my goggles in the shot, which is not what I want. My Insta360 I actually did have mounted here, but it's quite a tall camera, so it sticks out quite a bit. and it got the same kind of POV that the GoPro does mounted on the front. This is the mount that came with the Hero 13. I've got heaps of GoPro mounts upstairs from my old Hero 9. They've changed this mount slightly. I don't know if you can see, but this little bit here it's kind of angled more forward this way a little bit, and it's absolutely perfect if I have the GoPro pushed all the way back. That's the angle that I want. So it just kind of worked out perfect. I also run the media mod. I did a bit of experimenting with and without the media mod in my first few ski vlogs from this season, and I found out that running the media mod with it mounted to my helmet just captures the best audio by far. I did have some little wind muffs on here and ran it without it, and you still got a little bit of wind noise, and it would also make my voice a little bit robotic. So running the wind muffs, I used to have the audio on the wind noise on auto. If I had it off, it would just blow wind everywhere. You couldn't hear anything. So I found out when I was moving, it would cut the wind noise filter on and make me sound a little bit robotic. And then when I was standing still, it would turn off and I would sound crystal clear. So the media mod, the microphone on this does an excellent job, and the foam filter that they've got on it, it works perfectly. The only downside is that with the media mod, the GoPro isn't technically waterproof. Obviously, there's not a lot of water around here. There's a lot of snow. I've yet to run into issues with it, but you know, if it does eventually die because the camera does get warm and water gets into it, then yeah, that's gonna suck, but it is what it is at that point. So.
Oh, Niseko, you sexy thing. You sexy thing. Windy today, coming from like northeast. Or maybe this is even just full east. Your man doesn't like Mergles, your man likes smooth, flat power. Oh, there's some power about for sure. Not as deep as the other day, but it's around in like a formal way. Ohayo means good, hello, good morning or something. Gozaimasu means politely, formally, I think.
Because of the way that the media mod sits, it only has one side where you can actually fit the thumb screw. You can fit it on the other side, but it tilts the GoPro to the side. So I had to do a lot of fiddling around, and because of the side that this mount is designed to have the thumb screw, it's on the wrong side for the media mod. So I can't use a thumb screw. So I've ended up using this little piece here, and I don't know which kit this came with, like which bit of gear that I bought that this came with. I think it might have been the shorty pole, but this is nice and slimline, and it can go in the opposite side that the thumb screw is meant to with the media mod, and that basically allows me to have the camera sit perfectly straight. It's a bit annoying when I have to take it off. I've got a screwdriver in my bag. If I have to change batteries, it's a pain in the ass. I have to get the screwdriver out, take this off. I then have to remove the GoPro from the media mod, pull it out, put a new battery in, and off I go. So that's a pain, but I've gotten it down to a pretty decent process, and I can usually change a battery over on a chairlift. So that's just kind of one of the nuances of filming how I film. I have 3 batteries that I use on a full day of skiing from like 8 AM all the way through to like, I don't know, 2 PM. I'm never going like till 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll generally get halfway through the 3rd battery. I do have it on the quick capture setting, so when I do turn it off, the camera shuts off, and then I just press the record button, it switches back on and off it goes. I generally have the thing running most of the time. Usually I'll shut it off on the lift, but I have it running from top to bottom of a ski run. Even if we're standing around having a chat, people want to see not just the skiing, but like I guess the whole day. Standing around figuring out where to go, picking out lines, all the stupid shit basically in between the actual skiing side of it. I realize people want to see that, but also I think it helps create a better story for the videos. So I keep the thing running all the time. 3 batteries has been enough so far. It's got a 256 gigabyte SD card in it, shooting at 4K on the ultra wide, that's the highest resolution, and I shoot in 60 frames per second as well, just in case I want any slow-mo. So Haven't yet filled up the SD card. I generally come back after a full day with about 100 gigabytes of footage. On a half day or just a morning, you know, I'll come back with anywhere from 50 to 80 gigabytes. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea about the very specific setup for GoPro, storage, capturing, and so forth. Other than that, as I said, I still have the Insta360. I busted it out today for a nice wide shot going up a gondola. I haven't really found any other use cases for it just yet this season. One of the big issues I found with owning an Insta360, the person who kind of showed me their Insta360 and then I bought one last season, they were using it on a selfie stick, and then the first issue I ran into with using it is skiing with a selfie stick with 2 ski poles is extremely difficult. So either you've got to hold both poles in one hand and then it just looks weird, or you've got to hold the ski pole plus the selfie stick in one hand and it just feels awkward. So I didn't like doing that. That's where I started mounting it as a POV camera last season. Might have a use case for it at some point where I want to, you know, sacrifice a little bit of skiing prowess to shoot on the selfie stick, but I just find it honestly easier to mount the GoPro on my ski pole with the ski pole mount and just shoot like that. The benefit of the GoPro is that it can do up to 120 frames per second, so I get some ultra slow-mo. The Insta360 in the 5.7K mode, which I think is the only mode worth shooting in, is it only does 30 frames per second, so you're not going to get any like slow-mo face shots or power going everywhere or whatever. So I think that pretty much covers everything. Obviously, if you have any questions about specific stuff, please leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. There was not a lot of information on the Hero 13 when I bought it. It was basically brand new. So I just kind of bought it and just hoped for the best. And honestly, it's worked out absolutely perfectly so far. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys a lot. I'm on the road to getting to the point where my channel can be monetized. So I did not expect that this early on. Like, I've only been in Japan for 2 weeks. So yeah, I appreciate you all for watching. See you in the next video.